What's going on, guys? Matt over here with Gen5 DIY, and today we're going to be installing the 2019 Camaro rear view mirror camera system. Now, this full kit here is pretty simple to install. It does take a few steps. There's a main power harness, the body control module tap in, and our video wire that runs to the back of the car to our camera, and also replacing your camera. Let's get right on into the install by doing all the wiring on the inside of the vehicle. So we're in the car. We are going to get to the first harness, and now I want to explain a few things here because there's technically two different harnesses. This harness here is for a vehicle that has non-dimming, so the manual dimming features, so no side dimming mirrors, no dimming rear view mirror, because what we have to do is we have to run the wire over, because the new mirror has that functionality built in. Now, if you have a dimming mirror in your car already, you will get a plug that has a male and female version of this, and it will literally just plug into the harness that's plugged into your mirror currently, and then that plug plugs into the other end of our harness that you're gonna get. So that is the difference between the two harnesses. So if you guys are watching this video and have dimming and non-dimming, you can either skip the next little portion here or continue watching. So at this point, we're in the car. There's a few things we're gonna have to do. We're gonna be pulling down this overhead console so that way we can get our wires to our new mirror. We are gonna have to pull the new mirror. Now, there's one step that we are gonna show you guys today, but if you have a car that has the auto dimming already, this step is bypassed, but it's adding the cable so we can make the new mirror's auto dim actually work properly. And we're gonna be running cables both down the driver and passenger side pillar. We're gonna show you an easy way to do that, but let's get into those individual details with starting from pulling the console. So the first step, we're gonna pull the console, unhook all the wires, and then we'll go from there. So in pulling this, there's the main clip. Typically I'll pull from this point and these two clips on the side will follow, but if they don't, there's just a clip in the front and then on the two sides, and then you're gonna pull it down and pull all the cables. At this point, because it's gonna be difficult to record and pull this off, I have the help from my lovely assistant, Jared. And we're gonna pull the mirror. So there's a plastic back piece you pop off, and as you can see, there's these little metal holes, and you can put a screwdriver through there, and you're gonna turn that counterclockwise, and you'll see the mirror will just turn and twist and pull off. It's really easy to come down. Now, keep in mind, this is a strip model mirror. If you guys already have the upgraded mirror, you're still gonna probably wanna pull this so you can get to the wires easily. So you'll do, again, the same step, pull the black plastic thing off, twist it off, pull it down. The difference being is you're gonna have wires connected, so you'll have to disconnect some wires to drop it down. Our console's pulled down. We're gonna take our first harness, and probably the easier way, because there is a lot of cable there, we're gonna just run that through. I see it. Your finger small enough to reach in there? No. So what we're doing with our first harness is we're pulling it through the front side, so that way we can get the power cable to the mirror to the right spot. Remember, we do have our radar detector harness. You can tuck this in if you don't plan to use it. If you do use it, yay, it's there, you're good to go. It's already hanging there, and there we go. And now we need to run this cable down to the BCM module, again, because this is a vehicle with non-dimming mirrors, so we have to tap into that. Again, if you have a vehicle with dimming mirror, etc. already on it, you're only gonna have this connector to plug into the new mirror, and you're basically good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and run this cable down. We're gonna tuck it in along the edge of the headliner. We're then gonna run it down the A-pillar, and we'll get down into the BCM and show you exactly how that looks. So at this point, we have the wire down the A-pillar. We just need to pop the side cover. You can do that with a finishing tool, flathead screwdriver, just being very careful. There's a couple clips up here and a couple going down the side.
Sometimes it just comes right off.
And we'll tuck that cable in and wrap it around so it's out of sight, out of mind, and then we'll get down into the BCM.
Okay, so now for the connection to the body control module, and this is necessary to make the auto dimming feature work properly. We're going to be working on the body control module. There's a bunch of connectors. We're looking for this light gray one, which is right next to the pink. It's on the end, pretty easy to identify. It's just a little release, pulls out. Now, what we're looking for is pin 2. And you'll see on this one, it's the light green with a white wire. So it's toward the top, it's the second one over. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a T-tap around this wire. Now, to do a T-tap, this is a T-tap right here. You put it over the wire and you snap it shut. So let's do that. Sometimes you need pliers to snap it. Here, click. Let's make sure it's around the wire. You're good to go. Now you take the end of the green wire, which you notice has a spade connector on it. Just make sure that the inside of the connector, it's centered in there, so it'll slide right on. And you just slide it right over that, push it on, and you're good to go. Then replug it back into the body control module. And that's that connection.
Next step is our primary power cable, and that is gonna connect to the cable that we just ran up top. But this is plugging into the heater control module, and we're gonna run this through. Now, it will require to pop this panel, and we'll go up the A-pillar on the passenger side. You can lower this down and literally just, maybe, sometimes. Ow! Once you pull the side module off, it actually makes it a little bit easier to run this cable up and over. There's a little opening. You can kind of see it. You can just get that cable in there. Just right there. And I can pull this through. It's a lot easier to get that through there than this giant connector. So we'll go ahead and pull that through, run this up the A-pillar into the top, and show you how to connect it down here at the module. So now that we have the cable kind of coming through, we're leaving the slack down so we can get this plug up to this plug, because these two marry together. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this through the headliner here, and we wanna run it behind the big plastic, I'm gonna call it a basket, our holder for the center console, or the upper console. You see Jared, he's gonna fish the line through, and we're gonna push it behind the black plastic piece. Now you have to pull down just a little bit, don't pull too hard, but just enough to get that to slide past. And then we'll connect those two cables. I'm gonna make sure Jared can't see. Camera's in the way. There we go, connected. Perfect. Now we're just gonna tuck that in there so it's not bulging or sticking out. And we'll go ahead and finish tucking these wires through the headliner and the A-pillar.
There's, what do we got? We got a green, a brown, and a black connector. And this is the heater control module. The one we're working at is the brown. You see a red release tab. You want to pull down on that, and then you can push in on the connector to release it, and it pops out. We'll then plug our harness into the module, and the other end goes into the plug, and that's it. Tuck your wires up.
So now that we tucked these cables out of the way just so it's easier for you guys to see, but we have the main power harness for the mirror. Now we need to run the actual cable for the camera, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run this under the liner same way, and it's gonna come out the same hole. Go ahead, Jared. Pretty simple. And we're gonna end up running this one down this way, down the A-pillar and out to the back of the car. So at this point we have all the cables ran that we need to hook up the mirror. So now we're actually gonna go ahead and hook up the mirror, put it in place, so that way we eliminate as much slack as we can from underneath the headliner and basically have the slack more towards the back of the car where we have more room to hide it. You okay with that, Jared? So at this point we have our brand new video mirror, or do you want to call that screen mirror? Well, yeah, sure. I'll have the black plastic on there. Now there's a few things that we have to do in here to get to allow the power cables to plug in. So Jared, you're gonna remove this cap. There's 3 points that it connects to, but if you pry on one angle, it just comes right off. Now there is a plastic retainer clip that is literally clipped side to side. You can kind of see it right here. It looks like that on the other side as well. We're gonna pop this off so this then becomes loose. Comes right off. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to take this video cable here. We're gonna run it so the cable goes underneath the clip and wraps around and plugs in. The reason why we're doing that is so it gives us more room so we don't have this cable running right in front of this clip to plug in the main power. So we're gonna go ahead and run that cable underneath, re-clip these two plastic clips back in place, just like that. Make sure your slack's good. You can actually go ahead and plug it in. Perfect, so that one is done. Now we can get the mirror a little bit closer, plug this harness in, or the main power harness I should say, and that's all the power cabling. Now these cables will route down and under, and we'll want to get the plastic cover back on. Yeah, the covers. I guess we could do the cap after we get it in place.
You may need to...
So you have to twist the mirror. Jared doesn't have the leverage you need. The cable that got in the way. There you go. Now that's in place. Cables are in place. And now we can put the plastic cap on. And that aspect is completely done. So there's a couple different ways you can run these cables. Now in this instance, you obviously want to run it across the liner. Now you can pull this entire A-pillar off and run the cable down through there. What we like to do is actually just wrap the cable along the top side. You can pull this rubber part just here and actually tuck the cable into this edge all the way down and then run across down over here, because this whole side panel does pop off and makes it really easy to run that cable down or around to basically your floorboard, because we're going to then run that cable down this way all the way to the back of the vehicle. In this instance, we're going to tuck it to this outside edge. We're going to speed this up, but you can do this how you feel comfortable. At this point, we have the cable run. We're gonna run it along underneath the sill plate. We actually don't have to remove this. You could tuck the cable in and you can push high enough underneath it to where the cable will actually sit there and not vibrate out over time. We're gonna get the cable through here, tuck it along underneath the seat. Now, if you wanna do it crazy good, you can actually pull the rear seat. There's a clip right here on both sides of the seat. Basically you pry up, this will pop off, come right out, and that will give you access underneath this plastic edge. Now you can reach there. It does get a little difficult, but yeah, we're gonna do this fast motion and get to the back of the car. So at this point, now that we have the wire poking out towards the end, we got it all tucked in nicely. We have to finish tucking it along the edge. We have to go through the seat, so basically underneath the hinge of the seat that makes it fold down, so that way the cable's not caught around the hinge. So Jared's gonna go just pushing that through. You can see we can drop the seat down now, and he's just got to find the slack. Easier said than done, right, Jared?
See.
And now we're gonna route it up the left side of the seat. You can see we're tucking it in right in there, because we do need to get to the trunk harness, which is on the passenger back side, so we can get this to where the spoiler's at. At this point, we have the harness where the trunk harness is, and we will end up just wrapping this or zip tying this to this cable to basically get to this opening on the trunk, because the line for the camera is going to be coming out this backside, and now we have our cable. So we will have a little excess. We can loop that in here, make it all fit perfectly, but we got the cable ran to the back. So on this specific vehicle, now that we got the cable ran to the back, we're gonna put the spoiler on. This car, we've obviously taken the stock spoiler off. We custom modified it to put the camera in there. Now, if you have an LT vehicle, you would need an LT style spoiler. Unless you want an SS spoiler, then you're gonna have holes to fill. That's not the best thing, but it's up to you, your choice. There are options. So in this instance, we did have to drill a new hole. We used our touch-up paint, so you don't want to have any exposed metal. You don't want that rust happening, and that way the cable for the camera can tuck right in there. Obviously all the other connectors are for the plastic pop clips and the screw bolts or bolts that go down in the trunk, but we're going to go ahead and install this spoiler back on the car. So we ran the cable up, we just twisted it around the current placements that GM has. We're gonna end up zip tying this just to keep this off the emergency pole. We connected the camera, we're good to go. We're ready to test this bad boy out. We have all the cables run, we have everything good to go. Now it's the moment of truth, Jared. Did we do it right?
Let's check it out. Start the car up.
Oh, I think the mirror's in the off position. Is the mirror in the off position?
Yeah, so this is your basic. This is how it'll originally be. It's still a mirror.
Still normal mirror.
Now we got a knob.
Oh, that is awesome. So that is our view directly below us, or behind us. And just like the mirror has, you can adjust functionality on it. You can adjust brightness. You can adjust the up and down. Which one's the, there it is.
There it is.
So you can go up and down on the mirror to get the right height and angle that you want. Oh my gosh, this is
epic.
Yeah, we're geeking out here, guys.
Have.
But there you go, there's the install. If you guys have any questions about this product, hit us up at gen5diy.com or email us at info@gen5diy.com. Or actually, you're emailing Jared. He answers your emails. Thanks, guys.